Good morning, Heat Nation. My name is Roy, the host of my worthless half a penny Mahapneys. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, the only host in the history of the internet who fully and wholeheartedly admits that he has no idea what he is talking about, but he tries. So, folks, folkettes, and everything in between and beyond. Today, we're going to talk about Heat at Raptors. It's the second consecutive game against the Raptors. We had a one-day break, and then this is the first of a back-to-back. We'll play the Celtics tomorrow. So game 18, can we get to 3 consecutive wins? Can we get what is a common winning streak tonight, and how important this is? So we're going to talk about that. So in terms of injuries for the Miami Heat, we have Jay Rich, head, and Nikola Jovic, ankle, are out. They did not travel with the team to Toronto. Could it be that Nikola's ankle has bothered him out of the rotation? It wasn't just the nose, the septum, it was also his ankle? Or is this another perfect excuse to remove him as well entirely off of it? Because the truth is, like I said, before the game against the Bucks, which I think was the first one that he didn't play, he saw 9 minutes the game, 2 games before, and 6 minutes the game before that, and then he's out of the rotation. It hasn't been doing so well. It hasn't been working so well. I think it had one good game after he came back with the mask, but then he definitely decreased in terms of production. But for now, they're out. Jay Rich was already out of the rotation. So obviously, none of those are supposed to be felt absences, but we're going to talk about more what can happen throughout the day more, right? For the Raptors, it's the same as Friday. Emmanuel Quickly, elbow, Kel'el back, Grady Dick at the calf, and Bruce Brown is returning to competition conditioning. In terms of our pennyful hopes, we already saw how we can beat the Raptors with no particular panic, right? We were losing for a great part of the game, and there were a lot of lead changes, and supposedly this was at some point felt like a close game. I never felt like it was a close game. I always felt like we weren't bringing our A game until we were, and then once we were in that second and third quarters, that's it. It's basically where we won the game. Yeah, of course, they still cut the difference. They still managed to come back. They wouldn't go away. That's true. That's basically what the Miami Heat games look like, and it looks like the Raptors have also lost their games on the road by about 5 points or less, or within 5 points, a lot of those games. In terms of our penniless concerns, the difference now is that it is a second consecutive game against the same team, and those can be problematic for the team that won the first time. We see this happening a lot when we play the Magic back-to-back, and then not back-to-back in the sense of one day after the other, but consecutively, one after the other, and then we see that the first night we can beat them, the second night is going to be more difficult because they adjust. That could be something for the Raptors. I don't think their bag is full, but of course they still have a couple of players that could be worrisome. I think that they played really poorly, and I think that that's the way that I've been playing. So I don't foresee that they would play that much differently. But again, they were 2-2 before playing against the Heat. Now they're 2-3. We're 3-2. So it's a very interesting situation whether or not we can get this win easily, or at least comfortably, in the sense of the same way that we did again in the first game, which I think there was some comfort. Like I think that we turned up the heat when we wanted, and that's when we started winning. I don't think that this was a difficult game for us. They had a lot of unforced turnovers, a lot of ridiculous plays, especially in the first half. They got their act together in the second half, but we were still the better team. But this is the first of a back-to-back against Celtics, like I said, and so I will not be surprised, for example, if Butler is a late scratch. Now, I'm sure that Spole's sights are on tomorrow, but we all say in sports as fans, and we say coaches say that, we say athletes say that, one game at a time, and this one at least gives us some breathing room to remain above 500, even if we lose against the Celtics, notwithstanding what happens tomorrow. So that's why there isn't really much to add, because it's the same confrontation, number one. It didn't get better. They still allowed 121 points and only scored 111. They still technically killed us in the paint if our shooting hadn't improved. That would have been a tough game. So again, right, we have to do a lot better guarding that paint, and we have to continue trying to stop their second chance opportunities. Of course, they are still going to rebound very well. So there is no doubt about it that we have to play with the same level of intensity, meaning turning up the heat from the beginning and see if we can get this one. But again, right, I don't know if Kevin Love is going to play either, right? I don't know because again, right, he's a veteran. He's had back spasms lately, came back in the last game. But again, we play the Celtics tomorrow. So I don't know how much importance the players are putting on this game, and I hope they are because, again, this is the opportunity that we have to go above 500 before facing against much tougher rivals on paper and some of them concretely, So that's basically what it is, right? I want Rozier to come off the bench as ready to fit into the core style of play as he was last game, right? The core is still figuring out things, but they're figuring out things a lot better with each passing game. So I want Rozier to adjust to that, not vice versa. I already said that before, and Rozier did very well again in the last two fourth quarters. So maybe last three, but last two fourth quarters for sure. And I don't want Rozier to do well just in the fourth quarter. I want Rozier to be able to function as well as he did in the last fourth quarters, but throughout all of his minutes. I still, of course, want to see Burks and Pelle Larson. I know Kel'el Weir should not play as long as Love is available. Probably if Love is not available, he will get some minutes. But maybe this is another game for the veteran to suddenly feel unwell and not play again, right? So it can be more helpful for tomorrow. That's at least what I think, right? In terms of the penny line, is the same thing. The money line favors the Heat again, very, very slightly, more slightly even the last game. We are at minus 210 with a plus and minus 5 spread to plus 176 for the Raptors. So we are the slight favorites, right? But I mean, that's basically what it is. It's we as favorites have won 6 out of 8 games. We're 6-2 as favorites this season. So obviously that is something to pay attention to. The games that we lost against the Pistons and against the Bucks without Giannis. With Giannis, we were favorites because we were at home. So without Giannis, we're probably even more favorites. Those sting and those hurt, especially because against the Bucks was literally a loss in the first quarter. As far as the penny prediction, we need to win again and again. We need to win, period. Right? There is just no going. There's no beating around the bush. If we can't beat the Raptors, if we can't beat the Raptors today and we beat the Celtics tomorrow, maybe the conversation can change a little bit. But it's still very precarious. I bet. The better of the two games in the franchise's mind, again, is the one against the Celtics, so I'm not sure what to expect in terms of the lineup today. We still have enough to win, and we have enough to figure out that we can also lose. I hope it breaks in our favor, as it did mostly, again, non-favorite teams this season. So that's the only thing that I can say. Vegas has only been wrong 6 in 2 out of 8 times. So they know what they're talking about. Nah, that's not about that. But yeah, that kind of makes sense. In any which case, I'm not doing price picks or penny picks for this game because I'm out of price picks for a little while. I have a little rule that I never put more than 10 of my own dollars a month. I haven't done anything for December, but December is a pretty tight month. We got a lot of things to do in December that make our wallets empty. So I'm going to be out of the game for a couple of weeks. But still, look at those lines for Miami Heat. Look at those lines for the Raptors. We can kind of base ourselves on certain people. I think that the ones to bet the most are Hero in terms of points or points and assists and points and rebounds, which is pretty much doing the same thing, about 5 each a game. For Bam, points and rebounds is an interesting one. I wouldn't do points on Bam, but I would do points and rebounds. Maybe even points, rebounds, assists, because Bam, even though he's not getting, triple doubles every day, he does get very good numbers in terms of assists and in terms of rebounds. So if he's going to give you 10 points and 8 rebounds and 6 assists, depending on what the line is and price picks, take it, right? Besides that, of course, you want to, in terms of rebounds, just take a look at the prediction. That's not going to change much. Take a look at the last game against Miami and make your solid bets for the Raptors if you want as well. But I am out for now. Stay safe, stay dry, stay as happy as possible in this very, 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 very complicated world of ours. Let's go Heat.